Let's head off to Gatlin, Nebraska, but we gotta watch out for he who walks behind the rose. Let's get into it. Hey, welcome back to the channel, folks. I hope you're all doing well out there, and we're inching closer and closer to Halloween. We're only about a week and a half away now, my favorite day of the year by far, and we've been full steam ahead through horror titles the last few months, and we're gonna, on Halloween, my plan is to have my big Halloween review would be Creepshow 2. Last year I did Creepshow 1. I'm trying to find time to film an intro that I have an idea for, so hopefully I'll have that out for you on Halloween night. I have some more reviews that'll be out before then. But today we're going to talk about a film from my childhood. It used to scare the bejesus out of me. We'll see if it still holds up. But before we get into it, hit the like, comment, and subscribe, please. Join me here. I'd greatly appreciate it. Share this video too. I'd greatly appreciate that. Now on to Children of the Corn, the original. I know they made a kabillion of these. I think these are the most, this is the most sequelized movie of any of the King movies, Children of the Corn. I think I stopped watching them after part 4 because they definitely got worse and worse and worse. But this one, the original, came out in March of 1984. It's rated R, had a budget of $800,000, and upon release it made $14.5, so it did make some bucks. This is where they were buying up King properties left and right. And originally Stephen King wrote the script for this movie. But to quote the producer, Stephen King's script was unfilmable. It was that bad. So they brought another writer in to rewrite the script, and they went off and made this movie for $800,000. This movie is directed by Fritz Kirsch, and based on a Stephen King short story out of the Night Shift catalog, the Night Shift book. And in this movie, you have Peter Horton as Bert. He's a young doctor going to his first full-time doctor job, and Peter Horton was famous mostly for Saint Elsewhere and 30-something, very popular TV shows in the 80s and early 90s. Still works to this day. He's done a lot of TV throughout his career. We got Linda Hamilton. The same year the Terminator came out, she had this film come out, and this film came out first. Terminator came out in October of '84. She plays Vicky. Great character actor R.G. Armstrong plays a gas station attendant, and he filmed all his scenes in one day. If you've ever seen this film or plan on watching it, you'll know why, because he's only in the film for maybe 5 minutes. John Franklin plays Isaac. He is this cult leader of these children in Gatlin, Nebraska, and he's a teenager. And Courtney Gaines plays Malachi, and he's his enforcer for sure. And at the beginning of the film, we get opening shots setting up this little town, Gatlin, Nebraska. They filmed this in Iowa, not Nebraska. But it's a small, idyllic little, seems like a nice, quaint little farming community. And it's Sunday, and people after church are going to the diner or doing whatever they do on Sunday after church. And they set up right away. We hear people talking about this. The other kids go off and have their worship in the cornfields. And Isaac is their preacher. It's like this little cult, but none of the adults seem to stop it. So I guess they figure, it'll be fine. But on this day, the kids rise up and kill all the adults. And probably, watching again for the first time in a long time, the most effective scene of the whole film. When I was a kid watching this, used to be on TV a lot when I was a kid, this film used to scare me. We'll see if it does still. But it's definitely the most effective scene in the whole film. And then we set up Vicky and Bert, and they're driving across Nebraska to Bert's new job. I don't know if they even mention what city he's going to get a job in. And on the dashboard of their car is a copy of the Stephen King book, Night Shift, which is short story. Well, this movie is based on a short story out of that book, which is a cool little callback. And this kid stumbles out into the road, and Bert hits him with the car. Now, this is where some holy shit moments happen. Bert gets out of the car, checks on the kid, picks up the body, puts him in the back of the trunk. Vicky gets out. She's upset. At first, Bert's like, oh, he was already dead before I hit him. Excuse me? A dead person stumbled out into the road and you hit him? I don't think so. But they start investigating, and pretty soon they get stuck in this town of Gatlin, Nebraska, and they run afoul of these kids. Now, there's some kids that don't buy into Isaac's bullshit, and they kind of just go back to their house even though they're forbidden to do so, and they play with their old toys, and they miss their parents because their parents were killed in that fateful day by Isaac and his band of lunatic kids. And they run into the gas station where R.G. Armstrong works. He gets killed shortly after, and they end up stuck in Gatlin, and they're getting chased throughout the streets. And then finally, at the end of the film, in the middle of this cornfield, we Linda Hamilton's character Vicky is supposed to be a sacrifice to he who walks behind a rose. Bert has other plans, saves Vicky. We see he who walks behind a rose in a terrible effect sequence. This movie didn't have a whole lot of money, so I can forgive some things, but they should have come up with a different way to maybe show the demon, because it looks like shit now, by far. When I was a kid, it probably looked scary. Now it looks like a pile of dog shit. And at the end of the film, Bert and Vicky make it out with the two kids that weren't bad kids, and they drive off for a happy ending. Now, supposedly in the short story, Vicky and Bert both get killed. Vicky gets sacrificed to he who walks behind the rose, and Bert gets killed by the kids, and it's a more darker ending. This definitely has a more upbeat ending, for sure. Things to like about this film. I think Linda Hamilton does the best she can. Peter Horton does well with what he's given to do, which isn't really much. John Franklin's effective as Isaac. He's creepy as this little cult leader. Courtney Gaines is good as Malachi. R.G. Armstrong is good for the scenes he has. The opening scene with the kids killing the parents is still creepy, and it's effective. And I like the setting of this small little town, this small little farming community in the middle of nowhere, Nebraska. I like the shots of the corn. All of that is very effective. Is this movie scary now that I'm much older and the first time seeing this movie in probably 15 years? Absolutely not. A lot of this doesn't work when there's a lot of chasing with these kids chasing Bert and Vicky around town. It doesn't work that great, unfortunately. I'm sad to say. The directing's just okay. There's nothing special about the directing that to point out. Besides some of the acting from the actors I'm mentioning, this is just an okay film. It's not the greatest. It doesn't hold up. The effects don't hold up. Again, besides the establishing shots of the cornfield and the town, there's nothing really special about this film. It doesn't hold up very well. It'll probably be a long time before I watch it again. Yeah, it's not great. Again, like I said, it was shot in Iowa. It takes place in Nebraska. Again, the acting's fine for what they're given to do. There's not much here to hold on to, again, besides that opening scene with the kids killing the parents. Even by the end, some of Isaac's sermons or whatever get tiring. It's just not scary. I would give Children of the Corn a 4 out of 10. It really does not hold up. It really does not. Do you remember watching this film as a kid? Leave a comment down below. Let me know. What are your thoughts on this film? Leave a comment down below. Let me know you rank it. I just gave it a 4 out of 10. I'll be back soon with a review for Warlock with Julian Sands and Richard E. Grant. Until then, bye.